Hi, hello everyone. Continuing our sessions on answers to the solved questions from previous years. Few selected questions that are repeated time and again. So this is the environmental education subject, and we are on the third video for this. We have already covered 10 questions in the past videos. So let's solve 5 more questions. If you're not interested in the audio part of it, you can mute and just go through the answers. I'm just trying to highlight few of the points for the people who are interested. So let's cruise in. So the 11th question is, write the merits and demerits of project method in environment education. So we can classify, so as it is a 5 marks question, 3 or 4 points or 3 comparisons would be fine. So what are the merits of project method? It helps in forming the habit of self-learning in students. So to it inculcates self-learning in students, because they create a project, they know they build it right from the planning, conceptualization to building it, what kind of materials is required, how to visualize it, what would be the end product. So students are creating a project and they know what is required. So the learning is very mostly self-learning in this. Helpful in developing critical thing among students in the environment settings. So they think critically, solve problems. If there are any small problems in that project, how to deal with, because that they own the whole project, the ownership is on them. There is a sense of responsibility to complete that project. So students would be eager to solve any kind of or troubleshoot any problems that come along that way. So this develops their critical thinking. Coordination of mind and body is developed in students effectively. Students' ability to express, enhance helpful development. There's a communication skill, because in this kind of projects, there's usually a team effort that is involved. And when you are doing a team effort, there is high requirement of communicating your ideas and then similarly accepting and um, uh, getting others' idea into your system. So there is the importance of communication. Then this skill is developed when we are working on a project method. And sense of self-worth is developed as a progress encourages democratic decision making. So there are certain demerits also. So those demerits are, this method takes a lot of time and plan and execution for. So if you are having a project for, if there is an environment education, so if you're going on some kind of a project to learn some botanical studies or a plant, so you go to a place, you have to go there, there's an investment, there's a plan, there's a time, and then there's a study that is involved. So it is time consuming. It is not possible to cover topics or subjects from all content. So this is specific, as I mentioned earlier, like a botanical tour or a zoological tour. So it's not if you cannot do a project method in each and every kind of subject. So it is having certain limitation. It is not easy to design different projects for different topics. And it's very important to have a good guide in terms of a teacher who actually will guide you through the project method. So every time it is not easy to get such kind of a participations from teachers. This methods is not economical, and environmental studies projects are mostly outdoors. So this is kind of a costlier method of learning. So that is one other demerit of this method. You can go through this. We'll go to the next question. Explain the importance of nature games in teaching environmental education. So nature games. So from a very early age, children learn distinguish between animal, plants, trees, and the curiosity drives them to ask about the origin of all of them, for where the plant comes from, why are the plants different, what are trees, what are animals, what are different types of animal, how is one animal different from another. These are all questions that actually are derived from a curiosity, and this is because of observation. That is why we must teach children at an early age to respect nature and environment. So if you are setting up the examples, like if you are teaching your children the importance of plant and how to preserve them and the importance of them at an early age, it would make them as a responsible adult, and it will be an value learned through years of disciplined learning. So it is vital to learn from childhood to appreciate natural resources, to value them, and to know how to ration them in order to ensure their maximum continuity. So basically how this is very important. So certain types of games that are nature games, like planting trees, like we do Mora Mahotsava, wherein we are planting trees. That is bringing up teaching children the importance of planting trees and preserving the environment and forests for rain and other reasons. Collecting weather data, so different students can go through the places and collect weather data, the rain, amount of rain, the centimeters or inches of rain that has fallen there, the kind of vegetation, the seasonal changes that are happening there. Mountain trekking is another example of a nature game where you can be with nature, go for a trek, stay there, learn the how nature works, the difficulties and all there, and to learn from that. Visit lakes or rivers, or learn classroom dust management, like you assign students based on their roll numbers to clean up the class every day, so they know the importance of waste, how to segregate waste, and also to clean the classroom. Learn the recycling of materials, and also probably come up with an energy-free day, make strict rules about usage of plastic or limited usage of plastic. Also to bring up the importance of public transport. These are various games that we can come up. These are also fun in learning, as well as students' participation is very highly seen in this kind of way. So this is very good method of teaching environmental education. Coming to the 13th question, explain the need and the functions of environment management. So we know that environment management is very important. So what is the need for it and how it functions is this question. The process to improve the relationship between humans and environment is called environment management. So basically what we're doing is there is a relationship between human beings and environment, right? Because we are dependent on the environment for various reasons, whether it is resources, whether it is your habitat, the food chain, everything is dependent here. So, and it's not in abundance, right? So there are people, lot of population, as the population is increasing, they are getting limited. So it's very important to manage it so that everyone can get an equal and good amount of share it, and also the nature is sustained. So the important strategy to plan and achieve the balance is through check of destructive activities of man, conservation, tech protection, regulation, regeneration, etc. The general function of management are applicable to this as well. So what are the general functions of management? Like, in management, like any office you are managing, a factory you are managing, any a store you are managing. So it's all the same. Like you're planning, you are organizing, you are staffing, you are directing them, controlling them. The same applicable to environment as well here. How you are planning, managing environment with respect to human needs. So we have to plan the managing, and we have to plan of managing the environment with respect to human needs, organizing how to facilitate to carry out the resources, staffing, etc. It's all the same. So what is the need of environment management? The proper use of natural resource and exploring alternate methods. It's very important to do that. So that's the reason we need to manage it. The focus on conservation of wildlife and natural resources, because there is an interdependency, there's a balance in nature. You know, if you are not happy with the if the tiger population is going down, it's not just like if the tiger is going to be extinct, it doesn't mean that just an animal is gone. It takes away a lot of ecological balance along with them. That's the reason it is very important. So the proper use of natural resources, exploring alternative focus on conservation of wildlife and natural resources, the tiger, the study of behavior of living organisms in natural conditions, adapt to more sustainable lifestyle, to study the interaction between human activities and environment, etc. Please go through the question again, and also the answer points, the points that are referred here. It's a very easy question. Think environment as an office or as a shop or as any kind of a mall or any enterprise, and then think how you manage it. There is budgeting, there is staffing, there is controlling, right? So same thing is applicable for environment management. Let's go to the 14th question. Write a short notes on Stockholm Declaration 1972. So Stockholm is the capital of Sweden in Europe. It's a country in Europe. So in the duration of 5th to 16th June 1972, a world conference on environment was held in Stockholm. This was this was organized by the United Nations Environmental Agency. And basically it was to answer or to address the issues related to environmental issues related to environment and bring up policies and factors to all throughout the countries. There were around 114 nations that participated in this, and many environmentalists and natural lovers also participated in a voluntary manner. Maurice Strong, who played an important role in this conference, the conference was called International Conference of Human Environment, or United Nations Conference of Human in 1972. The Indian delegation was, led by Mrs. Indira Gandhi. Mrs. Indira Gandhi drew the world's community attention to our environmental problem that we have in India. It was discussed that the world's problem is not because of excessive development, but due to underdevelopment. This view was not just India's, but also developing countries too. The conference had 150 action plans and 109 suggestions and 26 principles were approved. And for promoting the improvement of environment protection and also delicate environment balance. In the year 1992, the Club of Rome published its report on limits of growth, which attracted enormous attention in the climate of Stockholm conference. Please, this also, it will be regarded as one of the founding stones. This is basically led to the sustainable development. Sustainable development is very important part of, how we are going to protect our environment. There has to be sustainable. You are also utilizing the environment, also building it the same way. So there is a sustainable development. So you're not just taking resources all out and not, refilling it with something else. So there is a balance which is we are trying to come up with. So this was all discussed in the Stockholm Declaration in 1972. Let us come to the 15 questions. Discuss Kyoto conference and pact of global warming in 1990. So as in the previous video, we have discussed what is global warming. It is the rise of temperature in the Earth's atmosphere due to various gases and sun rays getting trapped inside because of various reasons, such as industrial emission, automobile emission, or your CFCs, which are emitted from the home appliances, or depletion of forests and rivers. There are many reasons that are increasing, and to address this issue in 1997 in Kyoto, a city in Japan, there was a conference by the United Nations to come up with a framework to address the global warming issue that was coming up. In 2005, the protocol called reducing the emission of six greenhouse gases in 41 plus countries of Europe to 5.2% below the 1990s level. So earlier, whatever levels was there, they wanted to bring it up to 5.2% below that. And it was committed to achieve this within 2008. So a target of 4 years was taken to come up with this percentage. It was held as the most significant environment treaty ever negotiated, though some critics question its effectiveness. The Kyoto Protocol in an international treaty extends the 1992 United Nations Framework Convention to climate change. And that commits state parties to reduce greenhouse gases emission based on premise that global warming exists and man-made CO2 emissions have caused it. So global warming exists. You cannot deny that it is happening. Global warming is happening, and there are very evident phenomena happening because of this change. The rain cycle has changed in many places. The rain pattern has changed. The ice caps and glaciers are melting too soon. Seasonal variations are very high. Very evident things are there which are actually advocating that global warming is happening. Man-made CO2 emission have caused it. Man-made CO2 carbon dioxide emissions are product of industrialization, high industrial effluents from chimneys, your power plants, your automobile emissions. So which have contributed to this global warming. This protocol was adapted on 11 December 1997. So you can just go through this. So basically, just to remember, Kyoto is also the place where the superfast railway or is a model that India wants to imitate or emulate to make our cities like that as a high-end city. Go through these answers to find more details on it from your own side. I have given a high brief on that. So that is it for this 5 questions from 11 to 15. We'll continue this with the additional questions like 16 to 20, which in the next video. So until then, please stay tuned and also to subscribe to this channel. Thank you and happy learning.